Hello, good morning. It's currently the 29th of October, Saturday, 2016. And I've noticed that there are some in the, let's say, spiritually awakened community whose message is all about peace, love, and being positive, which is great because I guess that's where most of us want to be. We don't want to be fighting or even talking about fighting. We don't want to hate or be saying hateful things or be hearing hateful things said. But I'm also aware it's 2016. There's a lot of negativity going on. Deceptions, lying, hate, war, violence, murdering, all that sort of stuff. But you don't want to dwell on it. The economy, the political shenanigans that are going on in the US especially, all this New World Order kind of stuff, which was a conspiracy back in the 70s when there was that book written called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. And yet it's coming true. And maybe this is just because I'm not there yet, or maybe it's because I see things from a different point of view, but I don't think you can solve the problem by ignoring it, which is how I see the certain people in the spiritual community trying to deal with it. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. They may just know something that I don't. But it seems to me that we've got to attack this from both ends. So we need the positive messages about love, but we also need to deal with the negative issues. And I think one way of dealing with them is that we don't ignore them, because that has been their biggest defense so far, is that the very few people at the top who are evil have relied on covert means and operating in the shadows. And some of the WikiLeaks emails have shown this in particular, that some of Hillary's camp have actually planned to operate by keeping the people ignorant and compliant, I guess, to their wishes. And there was some worry that that was starting to fade, and that was from the Hillary camp. So I think, yeah, the message of love and peace, very good, very important, very powerful. But I also think if we wake people up to what's going on in the world at large, I mean, the awake community, you know, the people that call themselves awake, aware, conscious, all that sort of stuff, is great. But the numbers, although they're growing, are still too small. We need these numbers of people to carry on growing, because I believe this. Once we reach critical mass, once there's enough people that realise what's been going on, the deception, the lies, and on all manner of issues, you know, many people specialise in one topic and they see what's wrong there and they don't really wander too far outside. And so, for instance, somebody that specialises in the economy and the fraud and the shenanigans going on there with the banking won't really know anything about UFOs, or probably many of them don't even believe in things like aliens. Then there are people who are full on aliens who know nothing about the economy. There's the religious types that think the aliens are fallen angels. Then you've got the researchers into that sort of thing who think that religion is a mind control thing. You've got the different religions all thinking they're right and the others are wrong. You've got the atheists thinking all religions are wrong. You've got the science saying no, it's scientific. But here's what I've found, and I've wandered a bit off topic, but this is how I operate. If you look at the cutting edge of science, and by that I mean real science, not this pseudo propaganda science that's saying that drinking mercury and fertilizer waste product in water is good for you. That's rubbish, and anyone with an IQ above 5 knows that that's the case. But this cutting edge science, so we're talking quantum mechanics, quantum physics, that kind of stuff, spirituality, and not any one religion in particular, but the overall religious message that seems to connect all the religions. all speak about things that researchers and government whistleblowers and, like I say, the advanced sciences have come together. There's even that guy, oh, I wish I could think of his name right now, but he's a biologist, but he lectured medical, medicine at university, and he realised he was a pioneer in the stem cell, and he realised that what he was teaching was wrong because his results were showing something that slightly differed from what he'd been teaching, and he followed that up, and he went down a rabbit hole. And what I'm saying is, all these sciences, the mathematics as well as the overarching religious message on spirituality, they all start to tie together. If you ignore the red herrings and the rubbish and the nonsense, which is difficult to do, I know it is, but it's just something you're going to have to figure out for yourself, because it doesn't matter who you listen to, whether it's me or anybody else. Everybody's got an agenda, and you don't know whether they're paid or whether I'm paid to say certain things, or you just don't know. The only way to really fathom that out is if you've got time yourself to look at all the angles. And you've got to realise some people think they're telling the truth, but they've got the wrong end of the stick, and some people have maybe been tricked, and you never know. But when you research all topics, just get a basic understanding at least of them all. And if you're into researching, as in that's what you want to do to find out what's going on in anything, I cannot emphasize enough it's important to have a decent grounding in all areas: economics, geopolitics, history, science, military. Look over all the sort of big conspiracies that are out there, because they all interlink, and without having a knowledge or an understanding on certain issues, you are going to miss things, or you are going to get led down the garden path. And what I've found is that, like I say, they all tie together now. At the cutting edge of any discipline, they seem to be tying together. And that's something that is crucial, because that message that has come out is a message that will shake your beliefs to the core. It's certainly nothing that is taught in any one religion. It's not taught at school, it's not taught in history, and it's certainly not been spoken about mainstream. But that one message, I'll leave you to discover it. But one of the elements of that message is that you're more powerful than you know and that you've been told. That your thoughts are more powerful than you think. You think thoughts are just harmless thoughts. Well, they're not. And I suppose a big one is that you are actually immortal. You think the cells in your body, they replace each other every, I think it's 3 or 4 years. So in terms of your body, you've basically got a new one every 4 years. So you aren't really living in the cells. Sure, the cells are alive on a biological level, but you are not here because of your cells. You inhabit your cell, you inhabit your body, but your body is not you. Obviously, because your body's changing every 3 or 4 years, so can't be, can it? Yeah, so I don't want to divulge the answer, but it's pretty easy to find today if you do the research. It's a lot of people are talking about it, and like I say, it ties everything together. And then you've got to think, well, who created that? Who created it? And whether you've got a name for him or not, or whether you just call him the creator or God or Allah or whatever, Yahweh, you've got to realize that there is a creator, and he put you and everybody else here for a reason. And if you've been tricked into thinking you're just an accident and there is nothing and this is all there is, and then you've got to think, well, who who would want to tell you that? Who would want to tell you that you're an accident and all of this is pointless, and so what's the point? You might as well just die on a battlefield because there's no point to anything. No, it's the people telling you that are on the front of the battlefield dying. You know, might be something there, and they know. Of course they know. You think all these rituals they just do it because they're bored or because it's fun. They do it because they know something that you don't, and you might laugh at it because you don't know what they're doing. But it's all interlinked, and we've got to be on our guard now. We've got to be careful as people. You know, those people who await the humanity in them, the spirit, the life in you. Please, you know, it's what I'm asking, and I hope you can see the logic. Spread the love, kindness, be kind, you know. Ask for help when you need it, give help when you can, but at the same time, don't shy away from the evil. Don't stand by when you see wrong. Just step in. And for some people that's easier than others. In some situations it's easier than others, but in history we all know that the camps in Nazi-controlled territory, mainly outside Germany, you know, Auschwitz and that sort of thing, but a lot of the SS in the trials tried to say, oh, well, you know, we knew it was wrong, but we were only following orders. It didn't work, it didn't wash. The reason was that, yes, it was an order, but it wasn't lawful because they knew it was wrong. And I'd like to say that day will come again soon. Those trials will come again soon. I can't say what soon is, whether it's next month or next year or in 5 years, but it will come soon. And following orders isn't an excuse to do wrong. If you know you're doing wrong, don't do it. If possible, you need to oust the guy or the woman who's telling you to do wrong, and if possible, and if not, you've got to weigh things up, you know. If disobeying the order's going to get you into bother, well, what sort of bother? Is it just going to be less chance of your promotion, or is it going to be something more serious? And depending how serious, you might have to think about running away, or asking somebody else for help. And if there really is no choice, the only thing I can say is this: try and get evidence of the order, you know, recorded video if possible, but try and get evidence and explain how you've got no choice, and just keep that safe, because not to explain your actions, but to try and show the world one day that how evil is, and how not just yourself but how others were really coerced and conned into being evil through not just the carrot of, oh, here's, you know, $1 million to bribe you, but here's a bullet to the head if you don't. Yeah, so the message: this is a time of awakening. I think we can see that, and the WikiLeaks emails help demonstrate. And yesterday, the 28th of October, was something I'd never seen before, which is that there were several media channels in America all reporting on some of the dishonesty in the Clinton camp, whereas before they'd focused on who was hacking their emails rather than what was in them, and they'd done this for months, which was, oh, it's the Russians, it's Putin, you know, they're trying to influence the election. Well, hang on a minute. how many times had I heard that said, where, oh, they're trying to influence the election? Well, if your emails have been talking about or helping people and they were released, then they would be influencing them then, but it would go in your favour. But because it's crime after crime that you've committed, to say, oh, well, they're trying to influence the... I mean, that would be like a criminal saying, The police who've got evidence on me are trying to influence the court's decision. Well, duh. If you hadn't done wrong, it wouldn't have been, and it wasn't just like they slipped up once, was it? It was a coordinated... Never mind. Anyway, guys, so yeah, there's bad going on, but we can fix the bad. Don't turn into this little me, nothing I can do, maybe someone else can do it. It's up to you. It is up to you. And I'll tell you why. Because most people don't know. And most people who do know think they can't do anything. That leaves you and me to sort this out. And thankfully there are others, but we need more. And some of the best ways that you can do this at the minute is spreading the word. And the way to do that, if possible, is make your own little video, make your own pictures with words, make your own infographics, make your own memes, all that sort of stuff, and spread it on your account, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or just spread it, because even if you've only, like me, got 5-10 followers on, or whatever, it's 5 or 10 people who get to see the message, and hopefully, half of them will understand what you're saying, and hopefully half of them will then spread the message themselves. And if you can get one message understood and spread it to 2 people, you've done good. Because if everybody could do that just once a week, within half a year the whole world would know everything. So please don't get defeated and think that it's all over and too late and nothing anyone can do. Because I'll tell you this famous quote: don't ever think that you can't change the world, because indeed it's only been individuals who ever have. And with that, take care and goodbye.